Morning. Got a walk-in freezer at one of my locations that I've got a monitoring system in, and it tells me that it hasn't satisfied in far too long. So it's been more than 24 hours without satisfying, which, coupled with the suction line pressure, I think I know what's going on, but that's a pretty neat way to know there's a problem. The store doesn't know there's a problem, but you know, the freezer's still 20 degrees, so it's still frozen, it's still cold, but it hasn't been 0 all day. So let's see what's going on. Alrighty. There's not much airflow coming out. Look at this. Oh, nice. So this is a freezer. It's kind of hard packed. It's been there for a little bit. So obviously we have a defrost problem, because even if you leave the door open, even if it's never satisfied, this thing freezes up. You should still run into a defrost. I did a video and put that in. That's actually tied into the number 3 terminal with the defrost, that when it goes into a defrost, that lights up and shows the voltage, so that if the store comes in and the fans are off, they can see the lights on, they know they're in a defrost. So let's go to the roof and try and put it in a defrost and see what happens. Okay, I've got it opened up. You can see the byproduct of it freezing. Okay, so it froze up downstairs. So now it just doesn't satisfy. So now the unit will run all the time. And so since it runs all the time, she's frozen up all the way back, because we're not boiling off that refrigerant. So just looking visually, everything looks fine. We just PM'd this location not long ago. Let's take a look here. There we got N, we got 4, and again, I know what, obviously we got 210 because we're running, okay? And N to 3, we have 0 because we're not in a defrost. So when we slide this, into a defrost, oh, that's fun. So when we slide it into a defrost, you can hear it kick out. I can hear it kick in, but it's not actually going into a defrost. So that light should turn red. So it could be simple enough, we just have a bad defrost clock. So when we come to the outside edge at that arrow, click, that light should turn red, we should go into a defrost, and we're not. So straight up bad defrost clock. Simple enough. So we'll start with that, we'll get a new clock on it, then we'll put it in a defrost and check the heaters and everything. All right, so power on. Check this out. All right, so something I didn't do on camera, and then we were here getting ready to change the clock, and I was like, oh yeah, also check this. This has a defrost termination, an X, right? So we're in a cooling circuit right now. And if I put it in a defrost now, we get a red light. This terminal, this is hot, so let's not touch that. And let's go from neutral to 3, or N to 3, and now I got 208. So now we got heaters. So we got a bad defrost termination switch in there. So the defrost termination switch. So we had the clock, we're getting ready to change it. Like I said, I'm working with another technician of mine. And in talking through how it works, it was like, yeah, X is the defrost termination. Let me show you how you check that. I pulled it, and sure enough. So I was gonna change this clock for no reason. Really, we need to go get a defrost terminator. Let's click, 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 click. I'm tempted to let this defrost run for a little bit, but let's go downstairs and get eyes on what that defrost termination looks like, and we'll see if I have one or if I have to go grab one. Okay, hang on to that right there. Here we go. So this this is both kind of like our fan cycle and our defrost termination switch. So defrost termination switch is here. You've got red, brown, black. So red is your power coming in from N. It is standardly closed to 1, which energizes F1 and lets the fans run. Now, when it goes into a defrost, that leg is still there, and then the other fans get their power off of 4. Okay, so 4 runs over to F2, so F1 and F2 meet and the fans come on. During a defrost, 4 gets severed and we energize 3 instead. 3 runs through a high limit, which is in there, and then comes over here to H1, and that's good. N also comes over and feeds H2, so the heaters fire up. The problem is this defrost termination, anytime it gets warm enough, that switch kicks over as if to think, hey, the coil's 40 degrees, and the moment it switches over, it just taps, basically it just taps a button, and regardless of what the clock says, it kicks it out of the defrost. So if you unhook X upstairs, that solves your immediate problem, but it's gonna cause a different problem because now you can over defrost your box. So we gotta go get a new, I don't have this, so I gotta go grab a new one of these. But if you were in an emergency and you just had to make this run, you could just unhook X upstairs. If the fans were running, so you could assume that this circuit's still closed, but forget assumptions. If you were to sever red and black, wire nut them together, now your fans have the power they need, and then defrost termination unhooked upstairs. But there you go. All right, so we capped X, we put it in a defrost, we're running 7 amps, 6.8 at 6 amps. So we're gonna let that run a defrost while I grab this defrost termination switch. So here's what I'm talking about our light. We're back. Hey, look at that coil is beautiful clear. So this would have shut off on defrost termination already, probably, if it was hooked up. but new defrost terminator. And so this gives you, right? So number 1 is your power coming in. And then number 2 is your brown wire. That's hooked up to your defrost termination. So that closes on temperature rise. So as your temperature goes up, then it closes, it opens number 3, which is your fan, and it closes this. So you go in a defrost, your fan drops off, but this is actually still closed, and it just cut off at the defrost clock. So defrost ends, it knocks that out. Your fans don't start right away until it drops, and then this one says it drops to, yep, close at 35. All right. So you can see brown and X, red. Oh, stinky. Yeah, there it goes. Brown on X. I was gonna say, man, not terminal ends broke, but no. And then F2. So F2 to black. N, bringing the power in to red. Let's go wire for wire. All right, so there she is. I'm just gonna put this cover back on. So we fired this up. We've got the defrost termination reconnected now. We need to verify that the inside fans are operable. But now when we put it in a defrost, let's see. So still be too warm in the box. Let's give it some time. And the box is 30 degrees, 25, no, yeah, 25. So that disc definitely should allow for a defrost. I'm gonna let the coil get really down to temp. I'm being impatient. Let's give it 10 minutes, let the box drop down to 0, and then we'll try and put it in defrost, see if it goes. Yep. Yeah, that was it. So it was a bad defrost termination, and it just wasn't cold enough in the coil yet. All right, so now, we set the time proper and we set the defrost proper. We'll be back up and running. All right, so we've got this set for 45 minutes, 4 times a day at 7 and 1. So 7 a.m. right before they get here, so then it's ready to go. 1 p.m., that is what it is, but they're gonna be in and out of the freezer all from 10:30 till 12. So that'll be a good time. And then again, 7 p.m. and then 1 in the morning. So we can always adapt from there if we have to, but that's what's been working at this location. We'll leave it alone.